Thank you for listening to the Astro Tea Podcast.
Hey guys, it's your girl, Supernova Jazz. Again, thank you for listening to the Astro Tea Podcast. Welcome to season 3, 4. I don't know. I'm not keeping count. I just know when it's time to give it a rest, it's time to give other things some attention. And it's been a year. And of course, what do you think? I've been just sitting on my ass over here? But again, if you guys are tuning in, thank you. Whether you've listened to the Astro Tea Podcast before, whether this is your first time, thank you. This podcast honestly has gotten me through a lot of twists and turns in life. And just like astrology, there's a lot of seasons and chapters for a lot of different lessons to come through. And I'm naming this podcast Reaffirm because it is my reaffirm season. I've been showing up. I've done multiple podcast seasons, whether you've listened to when I've had a co-host, whether you've been tuning in when I was more prevalent on Instagram, or say even when I had a podcast named Shift a Culture. Yes, I had a podcast before this podcast with some lovely friends of mine. I'll link an episode in the bio. I'm going to be hosting this podcast as well on YouTube. So whether you're a visual learner, whether you're more of an auditory listener, Astro Tea Podcast is going to be on Anchor, Google, YouTube, TikTok. Yes, I said TikTok. The last episode we had Sharon Clausen. We were talking about taking up space, and we were talking about all these restrictions and censorships happening on platforms like TikTok. And it took me a while to really navigate TikTok, see where I fit into that space, and not that fitting in more so of fitting into a crowd, but more so how my creativity was fitting into this new way of expressing yourself. And if you're tuning in on 111, this episode is going on up on 111. We're going to be in Aquarius. We're going to be in Capricorn season, but we're going to have Venus in Aquarius. So Saturn rules Aquarius, Saturn rules Capricorn. And when you mix Venus and Saturn, there's definitely a lot of contracts, soul contracts being judged, whether your actions have led up to maybe feeling like you need to part from a relationship, part from a project, or whether you feel like, you know what, I've been putting in the work, I've been putting in the time, right? Saturn represents time, work, consistency. And I know that it's the next level, right? And this is the next level, this Astro Tea Podcast. And I feel like that's where I'm at in my life. If you have a Saturn in Aquarius, if you're going through a Saturn return right now, a lot of millennials, okay? We are in the last leg of our Saturn return. So we definitely feel the trials and the tribulations, the trial and error, just the result of that, right? So for instance, I've been content creating for about 5 years now, and a lot of it has come with learning how to collaborate with so many different types of personalities, learning how to hold myself accountable when I need to be patient and when I need to take the back seat, learning from my last mistakes, because when you're a content creator, you're in business. This is business, right? Whether we're doing an event together, right? Or Nova, my event business, or Nova, right now, we are planning a retreat to Colombia. Yes, I said it. In March, Colombia. If you've tapped in so long, you know the first attempt was Bali, right? And of course that couldn't happen just because of the circumstances of life. COVID, things shutting down. And it took me a while to even get some of the customers back their booking deposits, right? I don't look at you guys as customers, but I guess I meant, consumers. I had 3 people who booked, and they had to get their deposit back, of course, right? So I really had to go through the businesswoman side of what we do here, right? There's a lot of spiritual and creative fulfillment here, creating, whether you're doing in-person business, whether you're doing digital. However, there is a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of needing to know how to navigate business and how that works. When money leaves one hand, a receipt leaves the other, right? Being smart. And I'm really glad we're getting into the season in the last leg of Saturn being in Aquarius and reaffirming that we're not going nowhere. Okay, even though the lessons may have, hit harder every time they come back and you feel the lessons, it's like when they come back in these cycles, energy is always cycles. So when the lesson cycles back, it feels reaffirming. It feels so reaffirming when it no longer has control over you, when your ego is not constantly taking the driver's seat, right? When you can really navigate lesson and fate, learning how to hold yourself accountable and also knowing how to flow. So with Venus in Aquarius right now, a lot of groups are coming back together. A lot of people are coming back together, whether it's meetups, whether it's maybe some businesses shut down their brick and mortars side of meeting up and having their team members come in-house and being more so digital. Maybe a lot of people are going to opt in to be more hybrid, where they want to go and work in office and work digital. That's fine, right? There's a lot of cons to this remote life, okay? It constantly feels like quarantine. But you have to have the motive, you have to have the drive to get out of bed and see this as its job, right? If you can get up, get ready, put on a face, go to work, why can't you do that for yourself? Right? Reaffirming that you are worth that. You are worth what you are working on. You are worth what you've been building towards, whether you're just starting a business, whether you're a baby out there in these business entrepreneurial streets, or whether, you've put in some time and you're seasoned. It doesn't stop. So the hustle culture is an illusion. The hustle culture of having to freaking work the 9 to 5 and then work another 5 hours of your passion gift and then be a mom, a father, a friend, balance work and life. Right now we're in Capricorn season. We just had a Cancer full moon. Whenever we have a full moon, the moon opposes the sun. Those are opposite energies. Okay, and the moon in Cancer is family and what we feel that has nurtured us and that has really raised us. What morals, where do they come from which people in our family? And the sun being in Capricorn, where do you want to go with this? How do you want to carry on this legacy? How do you want to, really solidify it in what everyone is working towards, right? Whether it's the quote unquote American dream or whether it's being a very successful digital nomad. There is balance in that always. And sometimes it's not even your physical family that's here. It's knowing where you came from, understanding history, understanding ancestry, right? Right. So Venus being in Aquarius, everyone's being so curious about their desires again. Everyone's allowing themselves to mix and mingle, switch it up, try new things. Okay? And sometimes, the feelings and the knowledge of what hasn't been working, something's also got to give there. If you guys are on TikTok, go ahead and go on Supernova Jazz. Follow me on TikTok. Right, you get to see more visuals of the Columbia retreat. I'm so excited for that. We already have some bookings. We have a few more spots, and honestly, it's just the beginning. We're also in this Mercury Retrograde space. I mean, it's been beating my ass, and not beating my ass like, oh my god, I'm gonna blame everything on Mercury being in Gatorade, but like the most cliche shit. Like, couldn't find my laptop charger, went and bought a new one. While I was going to do that, I also had to fix the back of my screen which I just got a new phone. So this is the new phone that just came in a month ago, and the screen's already cracked. So I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with also getting some shit like solidified with my car registration. I freaking had to put a tile on my keys because I kept losing my keys. So, I'm not the best with the key shit. I'm gonna always lose my keys. So the tile has really been saving my ass lately. And it just feels like the astrology too. Like, if you know your flaw is you don't have the pattern of putting your keys in one spot, or like you just are like, oops, where did I do with it? Set yourself up for success. Have that insurance set up, right? Literally, what's insurance? Being prepared, like past self, helping out the future self, being so grateful that your past self was that smart to create that safety net of precaution. And that's exactly why I feel like Capricorn and Aquarius season are right next to each other. Capricorn season is all about building the structure, building whatever can really help your talents monetize, help your talents actually, do something for your family. Not have talents just sit in hobbies. Hobbies are becoming people's full-time jobs. Okay, so that's what Capricorn season is for sure. And with Mars going direct in Gemini, literally tomorrow on the 12th, it's going to feel like, okay, this is why I've been feeling like I've been pushed back 2 steps. Because I know if I would have kept doing it in this way, in this plan, that I would have been working slow versus working hard, right? Working smart, not hard. So with Mars going direct in Gemini, we're going to only have Mercury Retrograde to the end of this month. So a lot of direct motion is coming into fulfillment. Mercury goes direct actually on January 18th. So so if Mars is going direct on the 12th and then Mercury is going direct on the 18th, take advantage of what didn't work out. And it's not that you should totally dead it. What's not working out doesn't need to be scratched and needs to be reevaluated. What didn't work out doesn't need to be such a strike to the ego. You're being re-guided, new direction. And I feel that this last year I haven't been able to sit and talk with you guys as much. I feel like I've been shifting a lot, whether it's new platforms, whether it's new strategy, right? For instance, I've always done audio only for my podcast for a while. And even though I had a YouTube channel for even much before I started my podcast, something about just saying, oh, well, this is easier, kind of set me back. If I were just to take an extra hour each podcast or more planning, right? And I don't regret anything. I'm just saying, right? I like to learn through experience. We're here now. I'm obviously doing it now. I don't regret anything. But if I were to just take a few more steps to put myself in the camera to really strategize, I could have been, a little bit more further in my YouTube following, right? I could have been ahead of myself to where I could schedule things far in advance, to where if I want to take off a month or 2, maybe my episodes can already be scheduled. And it really hit me because I do that for other people. I always do that for other people, other clients, whether they're my clients for graphic designing, whether they're my astrology, well, not more so my reading clients, because that's more that's more intuitive, but whether they're my clients for graphic designing, I could be doing that for myself as well. But I will put the client first, always, and it's like, why I do that? I am my biggest client. And when I grow, I can be able to do those side those side projects, like my product line, like my t-shirts, or I'd be able to express to you guys how amazing this Colombia retreat's gonna be, whether you're gonna be attendance or whether you're gonna be able to look at it on YouTube, whether you're gonna be able to do it and travel with the Nova fam in the future. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that whenever I have a desire and I put it out into the internet, somehow the ether web puts my content into the right person. It does. Right? Or somehow the right content or the right amount of inspiration sits on my For You page. There's no such things as coincidence. There's no such thing that my Instagram gets hacked and I fucking chug at it again and get more followers there. My fucking TikTok gets brought down by TikTok. No explanation still to this day. Get back on TikTok. Not only, love it a lot more, but when I put effort into it, I see an automatic response. I do. I see myself liking it more. I see myself being able to play with my creativity more. I won't even look at the numbers because I know the numbers will flow gradually. That's Capricorn energy and that's Aquarius energy. Capricorn energy is like, pick up the hat, content creator hat, and take it seriously. Okay? Even when we work for our 9 to 5s, when we have that PTO, we plan in advance. Do we not? We plan in advance. We go, all right, well, I'm going to do all this work now, or I'm going to coordinate with my coworkers. Boom, boom, boom. That way when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. I am holding myself accountable for what I said I was going to do. And that's what we doing. That's what we doing. That's what we do in Aquarius season. That's what we've been doing Capricorn season. All right. Venus in Aquarius, going to be able to find our community all over again. Shift communities if we need to. Some signs are going to feel that they're no longer resonating with a friend group anymore. Right? A lot of us can pull in that friend group or just like see ourselves as our biggest friend. Honestly, if you don't enjoy your own time and you don't see yourself funny and you don't get your own jokes and you don't know how to lighten up and you don't know how to just like have fun, be different, you're not going to attract those type of people. So no, it's not your city. No, it's not Miami. No, it's not New York. No, oh my God, it's not this generation. It's you. It's your energy, right? If you can't lighten up, be creative, tap into your inner child, learn to appreciate different walks of life, that's pure abundance, How are you going to attract those people? And Lilith has gone into Leo. So with the Lilith sign changing, different people that are associated with that type of darkness, that's going to come up as well. And I know I shifted really fast there, but I do want to talk about Lilith being in Leo. So Lilith enters Leo just a few days ago, has entered Leo. And when I think of Lilith in Leo, before I even get into how the aspects are and everything like that, I think of people who don't know how to play, who are sore losers, who lead with their sexuality because they need the reassurance, right? That is the yang energy of Lilith and Leo. People who pull people in that can give them that attention. Definitely energy vampires that are associated with the Lilith and Leo are going to be, we all experience that energy vampire within us. Even we vamp our own energy with mindless shit. Mindless scrolling, mindless, oh my God, comparing the beauty standards are going to shift, okay? different performers are going to get a different light. Everyone has their turn. And that's what, you know, Lilith and Leo, you're going to see people that don't know how to really like deal with that. It's so crazy. It's like a jealous kid, inner child, someone who maybe was bullied a lot when they were younger, or maybe was very overweight or very skinny at one point, and then they grew up. And when they glowed up, they didn't understand the process of glowing up. They didn't see how like being the ugly duckling was really actually amazing for them. Speaking of Leo, we have a new kitty in my house. It's my brother's cat, but that doesn't matter over here because once someone has a new pet, we all have a new pet. But yes, it's his responsibility. And of course, my brother's a Leo, and the cat's name is Leo. So I think that's funny. And if you don't know what Lilith is an asteroid, I believe. I'm not going to say, I believe it's an asteroid, but the energy of Lilith it's the black moon. And it represents, Lilith just can't be tamed. She can't be tamed. She can't be told what to do. It's a very, you know, dark feminine energy. Men have dark feminine energy. Women have dark feminine energy. And dark feminine energy is very manipulative. It really pulls at the heartstrings. It really, you know, maybe like nurture people in one area. They know Lilith energy is very observant. It's very psychological. And Lilith energy, like, we all do this. We can see where their weak spot, or you know, if you fulfill this desire, it's gonna open them up and you'll be able to get what you need, right? I'm not saying everyone does this, but Lilith energy in Leo can really, you know, it can put those who don't have that confidence in them, they can be very vulnerable in this while Lilith is in Leo. Because someone can really gas up their confidence. Maybe people who depend on other people's reaffirmation in order to tell me, yes, right, I am beautiful. Or yes, right, I am a good mom. Right, I am a good dad. Right, like always asking around, like, right, I'm not a bad person, right? Or I feel like Lilith and Leo is just like body shaming others or putting them in a situation where they're comparing their artistry, or you can do this to yourself. You compare your artistry to other people's, and it's just like I even picked up a fortune like cookie paper, right? Just the paper, not the cookie, and it said, "Stop. Other people's paths don't deserve your attention." Something in that regard. And I was just like, whoa. Because at that time, I was looking up some really amazing creators. Who do I really like? I like Christy. I forget her name. Christy Scott. It's like her and her husband. And they have millions of followers everywhere. And it's not about the followers. It's about their brand and how they do it so effortlessly. And I've been studying a lot of people. And I feel like that's healthy, but to an extent. And then at some point, the more you are looking, the more you are observing, if you have to fish for your lines, if you have to fish for, like, how can I, you know, like, do what they're doing, you should be making content. You need to, seek inspiration, seek, motivation. Sometimes we do need a little kick in the butt, a little bit of, okay, look over here. This is how you can, remix it and do it your style. But when you are obsessing, when you are spending way too much time trying to, like, okay, and how are they responding in the comment? It's just like, all right, cool. Take what you can get, take the information you can get, and do what you can with that. Do whatever resources align with you to make the best outcome with the information you've been presented. And if you are presented new information, can you rock with it? Can you shake with it? Can you, make it your own? With Lilith and Leo, we're going to definitely see a lot of ego deaths happening right before us. A lot of maybe people in Hollyweird really just being super tone deaf and not understanding that even though Lilith is in Leo, right? Lilith's very magnetizing. we're in Aquarius energy, so very opposite. So it's so funny how Lilith is going in Leo during the opposite energy of, we don't care how it looks, we care the purpose behind the packaging, right? We care about simplicity, we care about getting to the point, making sure we're effective with our message, making sure, you know, can your art on the wall be, this is the message clear, right? Or are you just piecing a bunch of things together and having no intention? We're gonna see a lot of people stuck up, not get their way, and it's just like, don't fold. Whether those are people in your family, whether it's you, and you're being more observant about it, it's just, it's not gonna give. And of course, with Lilith and Leo energy, it's very selfish, self-centered, and that's not gonna fly in a season of being able to take the shirt off your back, being able to put people on, being able to, you know, give back to others, knowing that we are all in the cycle. One day we're the student, and the next day we're the teacher. One day you're the mentee, and the next day you're the mentor. And sometimes you can do both, and at one time, two things can be true at the same time. Astro Tea Podcast is I'm ready. It's time to really show you what I've been up to in the past year. I'm not really in the mood to blur everything out. I feel like the next couple episodes you'll be able to feel the essence. In my next episode, I'll be talking with Diana. I'm talking about love and health, and a lot of that has to do with me being in a relationship now. I've been super inspired to talk to her about, you know, how do you balance that self-love as you're nurturing, you know, the love of the person you're with. And it's been so beautiful to be in such a like fruitful stage in my life where, you know, I can like count on someone as a reflection. I've had my years talking to you guys, talking about times I've been ghosted, talking about times I felt like my attachment style was super anxiety driven. So it's kind of cool to see that even when you are in a relationship, relationships don't solve your issues. They don't. They still are facing your own karma, you're still facing your own lessons, and sometimes it hits a little harder because it's like the people that are so closest to you, family, partner, best friends, they are meant to trigger things in you that a stranger can't trigger, you know? So it's like when we're so quick to cut friends off, and we're so quick to cut family off, or we're so quick to walk away from a growing relationship, it's like we're not really allowing ourselves to sit and simmer in the lesson, or, you know, in the love in the lesson. Because if you're in your Saturn return like me, it's gonna come back, and the lesson's gonna keep coming back, and it's gonna keep coming harder until you're able to see it and be like, hey girl, hey lesson, you know, like, thank you. It was great. It's very character building, but you know, now I know how to just like navigate around you without you affecting me and having control over me. I've lost a few pounds. I'm on my way to, you know, lose a couple more pounds. I definitely want to be talking about that in this podcast. Whether, you know, you're like me, you want to lose some pounds, or whether you want to, you know, gain some weight. We're all on a different journey of that mind-body connection. You know, I want to reaffirm for the new year that as I'm building my brand, I see myself doing this full time. I see myself building this community, whether I'm talking to you guys digitally or whether we're all meeting up around the world and traveling together, you know, whether we're all, you know, trading and bartering. I've talked about that on a couple past episodes. Whether we are, you know, just speaking and helping each other, you know, unlock different chakras. I have a beautiful throat chakra. I've unlocked it using this podcast, but some other things I can work on, right? Some other things maybe like my sacral, my root chakra for sure when I'm fucking anxious as hell and I need to ground myself and not be so far ahead of myself. And I feel super amazing that I'm stepping in this world, and I keep reaffirming that I have a space in this world, and nobody else is going to create a stage for me but me. Yes, I've submitted my work to modeling agencies. I haven't gotten a call back. Does that matter? No, right? Because I will continue to create the stage. I will continue to have fun and create on all these different platforms. I'll continue to, soak in the knowledge and be able to teach at the same time. So this episode is short and sweet, just an introduction. I just want to throw some affirmations out there. If you're listening this far into the episode, please take a moment with me when you can. If you're like in a very loud space, maybe pause it, come back, go to the bathroom, and let's just chant these affirmations together and reaffirming that we are intelligent. I am intelligent. I am powerful. I am talented. I am gifted. I am source energy. I am my highest self. I am on the road to my highest self. I am patient with myself, compassionate with myself. I reaffirm my boundaries. I reaffirm that I respect myself. Therefore, I will make decisions and follow through, even though it may hurt. I reaffirm that I am intuitive and I have a deep knowing and guidance system that I trust. I allow myself to rest when it is time to rest. I allow myself to create when it's time to create. I allow myself to journey. I am here, I am now, and I am protected. Thank you, Nova fam. Thank you, Astro Tea Podcast. Whatever platform you're on, subscribe, hit that like button, and comment to me, how has this Mercury Retrograde been affecting you? Has it allowed you to really, sit down and go internally and allow yourself to just, make that vision board, rewrite the goals, get a little bit more specific, and allow yourself to flow, okay? Love you guys. Till next time, bye.